Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope everyone's having a great weekend. Great weekend. We're starting off a Saturday with our normal errands, You know how it is. Wait a minute for people to get in here. Evidently, the best way to get a crowd in a live feed is to stop at a gas station and go inside and buy something and then come back out. Seems to be a solid strategy. So guys, we got a lot of people trying to do the right thing these days, and I just feel like the right things are not being done for the right people. Addiction is not a joke. It's a disease. It's a problem. Right? Sometimes it's obvious, right? Sometimes it's obvious. Sometimes it's a Florida Uber driver screaming at traffic while filming himself, right? Sometimes it's obvious like that. Sometimes it's a guy whose face is swollen up to the size of a bullfrog because he drinks so much and smokes so much crack, right? It's obvious. There's other signs of addiction that are less obvious. Typically, when it comes to prescription pain pill usage, right? And we have somebody in our community that's suffering, and no one's doing anything about it. In fact, people are encouraging the behavior. They're allowing someone to destroy themselves for their own amusement. I think it's wrong, right? I think it's wrong. Regardless of your feelings about someone, right? You shouldn't want them to destroy themselves. But let's get into it, guys. So, back in 2013, our good friend Narc, was having a little fun, right? Just enjoying himself. But he didn't know that his life was going to change forever that night. How could he? Before that night, he had always been about the party, right? Just having a good old time, fucking around, being a young guy, doing what young guys do. Right? Did a little recreational drug use on the side, never thought anything of it, right? But that's the gateway, right? That's the gateway. We've heard this for decades, since the 80s probably, if not before, right? It starts with weed, but then it progresses to much more, right? He himself is admitted to the weed pipe in Louisiana, right? He himself is admitted to firing a gun during a drug deal gone wrong in Louisiana, right? Those are his words. Right? But unfortunately, he opened that gate and he couldn't remember how to shut it, which is why he's where he is right now. In 2013, in a night of just fucking around, having a good time, he severely injured himself in a car crash, right? And he might be saying, this sounds familiar. Where have we heard this before? You know? I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to believe that Bowles, of all people, knew something that the rest of us didn't, right? Bowles is an idiot. But no, it's real. This actually happened. So after driving drunk and possibly on other substances, he flipped that truck over in somebody's backyard, right? He didn't just do damage to his property. He didn't just do damage to himself. He did damage to other people's property and somebody else in the vehicle with him. Right? So he endangered an innocent party that was just with him. So you can tell he's had no regard for anybody but himself for a long time. He was taken to the hospital. He was so injured that the police couldn't even do the field sobriety test. What do you think the hospital gave him when he got there? Pain medication. Highly addictive pain medication given to a man who already has no regard for anybody but himself and has already struggled with addiction in the past. Right now, he was given prescription pain medication. And he's been on a downward spiral ever since. If you look at counties in Indiana with his name, you'll find a rash of thefts from various mechanic-related institutes, aircraft mechanic, diesel mechanic, you name it. He's been stealing from his jobs, is what it looks like. Right? I can't prove it. I just know the picture that's being painted based on his criminal history. But what is something a druggie does, guys? They steal from work, sell the tools on the side to fund their addiction. You know what one of the prime factors of opioid addiction is? One of the prime factors of abuse that you can see in people? Rapid, stuttery talking, jittery movements, and talking about things that make no sense. Who have we ever seen do that? Maybe some guy in Indiana who lives in his garage, right? They lose interest in day-to-day activities, right? Does he do anything else but talk on the internet? Not that I've seen, right? Not that I've seen. Does he withdraw from family and friends? You know, do you think being up 4 hours in the garage when you have supposedly a family in the house, if they even are still there, you know, maybe that's some sort of drug-induced illusion? This is the guy that people are looking to on YouTube, is a pain pill addicted alcoholic who's on a downward spiral, and they're laughing as he does it, right? They're not offering assistance. They're not offering help. They're not telling him to better himself. They're watching as he spirals down. You can see the delusion, right? He thinks he's saving the world. Right? He gets offended when you say that he's not. You know, he tries to play it off. But you can see it in the titles of his videos, right? He thinks he's saving the world, and he's upset that nobody believes that he is, right? He's in his own drug-induced delusion. You can see it in the company he keeps, right? Alcoholics and druggies all around. It's very depressing, guys. Just morally, I can't watch somebody destroy themselves like that. I can't do it. You know, I don't think anybody else should either, right? Giving them that attention is fueling the bad behavior. The best thing to do is to not watch them, right? If you take that away, maybe he'll finally hit that rock bottom, and maybe he'll want to make a change, right? Do better for himself. But if you guys continue to watch him to encourage that behavior, he's only going to get worse. That's what happens. So how many months do we have left before he's driving down the, you know, some highway in the middle of the night in Indianapolis doing DoorDash or Uber, screaming and talking to himself, right? I mean, we're close there. This has been a spiral since 2013, guys. So stop watching. Don't help that guy destroy himself. It might be funny to watch him destroy himself, but if you're a decent, good person, don't watch him. Right? Take those views away from him. Maybe he'll kind of come to his senses without the attention. You know, or you can watch the man kill himself slowly with pain pills and alcohol. You can see the downfall, right? The troll was a little more believable a couple years ago, but now that's just you can see the holes and everything, right? There's just no substance to it anymore. It's not even good. You can see the quality of his life and the quality of his trolling. If you want to look at it that way. I know no one has any mercy for him. I get it. But if you consider yourself a decent human being, don't watch. Take the views away from him. Hopefully it'll wake him up. I don't know, guys. I just don't want to contribute to the guy's downfall. But this is the truth of the guy. You know, this is what he doesn't tell you. Would he still have the same following if they knew he was just like JF Trucker? Probably not, right? He conveniently left that out. So don't watch him, guys. That's my recommendation. It's not worth it, right? You'll regret it later. Even if you hate the guy, I understand you want to see him fall apart at the seams in real time. But like I said, people always talk about how we need to get decency back in the world, and you know, maybe that's how we do it, is one step at a time. We help one pain pill addicted psychopath realize that nobody actually cares about him, and maybe he'll change his life for the better. Who knows? But that's what I have for this one, guys. I just wanted to make you aware of who that man actually is. You know, coming from a real source, right? Not just people making shit up. But again, I would ask the community at large, right? Don't give him the views. It's not good for his health. Is a druggie coming apart at the seams really worth your time? Do you really want the guilt later that you watched him destroy himself? I know I don't want that on my conscience, guys. You know? But that's what I got, guys. I appreciate the views. I would ask that you just consider the guilt you might have later if you keep watching a guy destroy himself with drugs, and maybe consider not watching anymore, right? Just for his own good, if not just for yourself, right? But anyway, we'll see you guys in the next one. I appreciate y'all for watching. I know Saturday's not a good day. Well, to be to be perfectly honest, no day's a good day for me, but for those of you who do watch, I do appreciate it. And I do ask that you take my advice seriously. But all right, guys, enjoy your weekend. I don't want to be all dreary the whole weekend.